And during glorification, he glorifies the association of devotees and how association of devotees is important to get the mercy of the Lord and also to develop one's devotional activity and to come out of the miseries of the material world. Or to put it the other way, that by having the association of the devotees, one can be aloof from the different material pangs which are there and which pull us towards the material way of life and take us away from bhakti. So after that, Dhruva Maharaj then prays about the association again, and in the next verse also, he's saying that association gives detachment. So that detachment is required to get attached to the Supreme Lord, to get attached to the bhakti process. So the detachment from the material desire happens, and attachment to the spiritual desires or attachment to the devotional service happens. Then he glorifies the Lord from verse number 13 to 16, saying that your form is supreme. And 14th verse says your form is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And then he explains the difference between the Lord and the Jivas. And then he explains the qualities of Brahma. And then in the 17th verse, he says, please protect and maintain me. After that, the Lord bestows benediction to Dhruva and departs. So that is the verse which from 18 to 26, which is there. So Lord says that I'll avoid your material desires along with prema. He was a little confused that why should I ask for my desires or not? And if I'm asking for my desires, can I still have devotional activity within me? So Lord says, no worries. You will have all the material desires, that your material desires would be fulfilled. And also at the same time, you will have devotion towards me. You will have that prema bhakti also together. That's what was a benediction of the Lord. And he says that I shall award you Dhruvaloka, which continues to exist even after dissolution, is not ruled by anyone, is circumambulated by the luminaries like the bulls treading around the central pole to grind the grains. And that Dhruvaloka is actually the abode of Lord Vishnu within this material world. Upon it, there will be milk ocean, within which is an island called Shvetadvipa. At the time of dissolution of this universe, the eternal Dhruvaloka remains like other Vaikuntha Lokas. So the Dhruvaloka remains even after dissolution because it is part of the Vaikuntha Loka. And Lord gives that Loka to Dhruva Maharaj. That was Lord's mercy. And he said you would rule, you'll go back to Dhruvaloka after ruling 36,000 years without having an old age. You would be forever young for 36,000 years. And then he explains that Uttama will gradually be killed, and Suruchi would die from forest fire. All those things he says what will happen in future. And then in 24th verses, sacrifices, enjoyment, and remembrance at the end would be there. And 25th verse says, having gone to Dhruvaloka, you will not return. So that is one lifetime, 6 months of dedication. Getting this priceless jewel is very rare. So what happens is, after Lord departs, saying that, Dhruva starts lamenting. So what was the cause of the lamentation? Maitreya Muni asked. So Vidura asked to Maitreya Muni. So Maitreya Muni says, because he was thinking that what is Lord and what I am asking for him? He is like the king, want to give whatever he has, like precious things with him. And I was asking for broken pieces of rice. He says in there is a verse which tells about that. He was lamenting that what good fortune I have, and what I have asked, what desire I had, and I had enviousness for my stepmother, for my brother. What is this? And this has all happened because of the transformation of the heart. That's why Dhruva Maharaj is thinking like that. So And then he says, demigods have bewildered my intelligence. Under the influence of Maya, I have prayed for useless things. People who taste the Lord's lotus feet don't ask for material things. So that is the Dhruva's regret. And then when Dhruva Maharaj reaches the kingdom, Uttanapad receives Dhruva, and even Suniti, Suruchi, Uttama, they also come and receive Dhruva very nicely. Because, and Dhruva pays obeisances to his mother, his stepmother, and also Uttama. All the enmity and enviousness goes away because when the devotional qualities happen, those things go away. And even the person who is receiving, for example, Suruchi, also gets that, like, she also loses her enmity because of the exaltedness of the devotee. She behaves in a very nice way, and her heart also gets transformed. That is the beauty of that. And then there is description of city and palace where Dhruva Maharaj lived. And then after some time, Uttanapad decides, I will go to Vanprastha and do my devotional activity and give this throne to Dhruva Maharaj. Even though he was very young, because of his abilities, he was given the throne. And then the next chapter starts. Next chapter is about Dhruva Maharaj's fight with the Yakshas. Why the fight happened? Because Dhruva Maharaj, first in that chapter, it starts with Dhruva Maharaj's marriages and descendants. He had two wives, Brahmi and Ila, and they have one first wife has two sons, and a second wife has a daughter and a son. And then it is description of Uttama's death. Uttama was killed by a Yaksha. And because Yaksha killed, Dhruva Maharaj became very angry. And then he went to Yaksha's kingdom, that is Alkapuri, and attacked all the Yakshas. And then Yakshas also became very angry. They started doing different activities, which is actually to bewilder, because they are known to have those Mayavi Vidya, so which they can use. And Dhruva Maharaj gets bewildered. And then, then he realizes, then what happens, sages arrive and offer prayers for Dhruva's protection. Then the sages come and they offer prayer for, this is a war, and this is a fight between Dhruva Maharaj and Yakshas are going. Yakshas are getting more strength now. And then Dhruva Maharaj cannot do anything in that situation. But then, because of the prayers of sages, Dhruva Maharaj realized about the Narayana Astra, and he started using that. And in the next chapter starts with Swayambhuva Manu advises to stop fighting. So in that chapter starts from verse number 1 to 5, where Dhruva Maharaj overcomes Yaksha's illusions and massacres them. Now, once he uses Narayana Astra on the Yakshas, agitated Yakshas rush, he wants to kill them all. But seeing this, Swayambhuva Manu comes, who is the great grandfather of Dhruva Maharaj. He says, no, we should not kill all the Yakshas for the sin of one Yaksha who had killed your brother. And by anger, one is, see, even though a devotee can also be moved through anger. I mean, this is Lord's, actually, you can say, Lord's Leela, how he bewilders the devotee. But still, anger is something which can take away, that is saying, Manu is saying, excessive anger is sinful. He says, killing many for one's fault is not good. Bodily identification, you should think beyond bodies. You're killing the bodies, which untimely death is not required for them. So then he's saying, avoid unnecessary killing. All those things after he said, then this verse will come. Then he mentions in verse number 12 that I am really surprised by your act. You are a devotee of the Lord, pure devotee, and you're recognized by devotees like Narada and supposed to be an example for others to follow. How could you do that? Means how you are moved with this anger and then killing every one of the yakshas, everyone. So then, when he was saying that, then he told this verse, which tells us how a person can please the Lord, what activities can please the Lord. Because what he was doing, according to Swayambhuva Manu, would be displeasing to the Lord. But his destination, Dhruva Maharaj's destination is already decided. He is going to the spiritual world, no doubt about that. But why he is doing these activities which is not befitting his stature? And then this verse comes. So this verse tells about what pleases the Lord, what qualities would please the Lord. So let's chant this verse. Titikshaya karunaya maitrya.
Titikshaya karunaya maitrya.
Let's do other tune. This should be all together. Okay. Titikshaya karunaya maitrya chakhila jantushu.
Titikshaya karunaya maitrya chakila jantushu.
Samatvena cha sarvatma bhagavan samprasidati.
Samatvena cha sarvatma bhagavan samprasidati.
One more time. Titikshaya karunaya.
Titikshaya karunaya.
Maitya chakhila jantushu.
Maitrya chakila jantushu.
Samatvena cha sarvatma.
Samatvena cha sarvatma.
Bhagavan samprasidati.
Bhagavan samprasidati.
Titikshaya karunaya.
Titikshaya karunaya.
Maitrya chakhila jantushu.
Maitrya chakila jantushu.
Samatvena cha sarvatma.
Samatvena cha sarvatma.
Bhagavan samprasidati.
Bhagavan samprasidati.
Please recite.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, please.
Titikshaya karunaya.
Titikshaya karunaya.
Maitrya chakila jantushu.
Maitrya
chakila jantushu.
Sorry. Samatvena cha sarvatma.
Samatvena cha sarvatma.
Bhagavan samprasidati.
Bhagavan
samprasidati.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mata.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I will try. Titikshaya karunaya.
Titikshaya karunaya.
Maitrya chakhila jantushu.
Maitrya chakila jantushu.
Samatvena cha sarvatma.
Samatvena cha sarvatma.
Bhagavan samprasidati.
Bhagavan samprasidati.
Samprasidati.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Anybody else wants to try?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I can try.
Please try.
Titikshaya karunaya.
Titikshaya
karunaya. Maitrya chakila jantushu. Maitrya chakila jantushu. Samatvena cha sarvatma. Samatvena cha sarvatma. Bhagavan samprasidati. Bhagavan samprasidati.
Thank you so much. So this verse is saying the qualities. Bhagavan samprasidati. Samprasidati means samyak rupena prasidati. Very much pleased. Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is being now told by Swayambhuva Manu to his great grandson Dhruva Maharaj. So he is saying that what characteristics would please the Lord in total, like very much satisfied. What? Titikshaya. Titikshaya means the tolerance. Tolerance for tolerance means tolerance to tolerate like all the different material pangs that has come, or enemies attack who have attacked for no reason. Like this is in this case, like yakshas have killed his brother, right? So, and that the nature of devotee is he is very tolerant. He is tolerant towards, there is a tolerant towards senior, and when ill-treated by the enemies. Then Karudaya. Karudaya is a special mercy, merciful. He is merciful towards inferiors and the ignorant. And then is Maitriya, Chakhila Jantushu, being friendly towards equals. So these are the things that Narad Muni mentioned. If you remember, there is a verse which came before, that how to deal with superiors, to people who are inferior, and to people who are equal to oneself. And then Samatvena cha Sarvatman. Samatvena, Samatva, looking everyone as equal. Not only human beings, but each and every creation of the Lord. Looking them that they are spirit souls, and we have a relationship with them because they are also connected to the Supreme Lord. That understanding is there, being equal to everyone, considering others' happiness and distress as one's own. So this is something which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has mentioned. I'll just mention that later on. Bhagavan Samprasati, the Supreme Lord, is very much satisfied. So I'll just read what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has mentioned. This describes the conduct of the devotee. One should be tolerant of the great, merciful to the inferior, and friendly towards those of equal status. One should think of others' joy and sorrow, hunger and thirst as one's own. Atma upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yojarjunam sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. I consider that practicing yogi who sees equally everything as equal to himself in all circumstances, whether in happiness or suffering, to be the topmost yogi. Bhagavad Gita 6:32. If all beings are satisfied, one can infer that the Lord is satisfied. Sarvatma. So that is the purport or commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Let's read the translation and purport.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Go ahead, Prabhu. Go ahead, Prabhu. It's okay.
The Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Then please read the purport.
Purport. It is the duty of an advanced devotee in the second stage of devotional perfection to act in accordance with this verse. There are three stages of devotional life. In the lowest stage, a devotee is simply concerned with the deity in the temple, and he worships the Lord with great devotion according to rules and regulations. In the second stage, the devotee is cognizant of his relationship with the Lord, his relationship with the fellow devotees, his relationship with the persons who are innocent, and his relationship with the persons who are envious. Sometimes devotees are ill-treated by envious persons. It is advised that an advanced devotee should be tolerant. He should show complete mercy to persons who are ignorant or innocent. A preacher devotee is meant to show mercy to innocent persons, whom he can elevate to devotional service. Everyone by constitutional position is an eternal servant of God. Therefore, a devotee's business is to awaken everyone's Krishna consciousness. That is his mercy. As far as a devotee treatment of other devotees who are his equals, he should maintain friendship with them. His general view should be to see every living entity as part of the Supreme Lord. Different living entities appear in different forms of dress, but according to the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, A learned person sees all living entities equally. Such treatment by the devotees is very much appreciated by the Supreme Lord. It is therefore said that a saintly person is always tolerant and merciful. He is a friend to everyone, never an enemy to anyone, and he is peaceful. These are some of the good qualities of a devotee. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So this verse mentions about the qualities that please the Supreme Lord, qualities in a devotee that please Supreme Lord. And Srila Prabhupada starts telling about the characteristics of devotees. This second stage is Madhyamadhikari. First stage is Kanishtadhikari, and the highest stage is Uttamadhikari. So he says in the second stage, this is the duty of an advanced devotee in the second stage of devotional purpose to act in accordance with this verse. So that is an instructions of Madhyamadhikari, given to Madhyamadhikari. So there are three stages of devotional life. In the lowest stage, which is the Kanishtadhikari stage, the devotee is simply concerned with the deity and he worships the Lord with great devotion. But then he doesn't care to relate to others and everything. So that is there in the nectar of instruction. But in the second stage, which is the Madhyamadhikari stage, the devotee is cognizant of his relationship with the Lord, his relationship with the fellow devotees, his relationship with persons who are innocent, and his relationship with persons who are envious. So all those things are covered actually. Tolerant part is there. That is for the envious thing, the tikshaya. Karunaya for innocent. And then what is the third one? Maitreya for people who are equal. So here, third thing is Maitreya here. Is sometimes, okay, again here, sometimes devotees are ill-treated by envious persons. This is actually there, because they don't know why they are ill-treated, because they think that that person is an enemy, but that person never thinks anybody an enemy. That is the nature of the devotee. But in this context, you can see Dhruva Maharaj was very ill-treated by the yakshas, and he became so angry that he wanted to kill all the yakshas. So it is advised that an advanced devotee should be tolerant. So this is an advanced devotee Uttamadhikari stage, but at Madhyamadhikari stage, these qualities starts coming and then it starts maturing. He should show complete mercy to persons who are ignorant and innocent. A preacher devotee, for example, a preacher devotee is somebody who is in Uttamadhikari stage or can be Madhyamadhikari, but mostly if he is a Uttamadhikari stage, he comes to the Madhyamadhikari stage to preach. Because in the Uttamadhikari stage, if he preaches, it is very difficult for all the people to understand in that perspective. So it's meant to show mercy to innocent person whom he can elevate to the devotional service. A prime example of Srila Prabhupada himself, who have done this, to elevate everyone to devotional service, to even the hippies, to go and chant names of the Lord and become pure devotees of the Lord. Everyone by constitutional position is an eternal servant of. So that's the thing which is there, samatvam. Samatvam thing is there. The quality of samatvam means to see everyone as equal. Therefore, a devotee's business is to awaken everyone's Krishna consciousness. So he would see everyone as a part and parcel of Krishna. And whom, like for example, for humans, he can awaken Krishna consciousness by talking to them, talking about Krishna. To other living entities, he can just chant for them so that they could hear and then they could get purified, or giving prasadam to them. All those things can happen. Therefore, a devotee's business is to awaken everyone's Krishna consciousness. That is his mercy. As for a devotee's treatment for other devotees who are his equal, he should maintain friendship. That is what we discussed. His general view should be seeing everything living entity as a part of Supreme Lord. So there is a verse that Srila Prabhupada is telling about in Bhagavad Gita. So I read one verse, but there is another verse. Which verse tells about the they are different forms of dress, but they are equal? Which verse is that? Anybody remembers? Or anybody remembers the paraphrase of the verse? Krishna talks about that. I'm also not getting the verse starting, but it says that a brahmana, a dog eater, an animal, whoever is there, Lord is residing in their heart as super soul. So a sober person or a saintly person sees Lord in the heart of each and every one. That is the paraphrasing that verse in Bhagavad Gita. It will come to me soon, but now I'm not coming now. Such treatment by the devotee is very much appreciated by the Lord. So here it says that it is therefore said, a saintly person is always tolerant and merciful. Those two qualities are always there in saintly person. That is the characteristics of a saintly person, tolerant and merciful. And how that happened? Because he is in devotional service. And because of that, Lord empowers him to have these qualities. And he is never an enemy to anyone, and he is peaceful. So these are some of the qualities of a devotee. So the message for us here is that we have to follow according to, like, for example, as a Madhyam Adhikari, the instruction is given how a Madhyam Adhikari performs. That we have to be tolerant towards seniors, and when ill-treated by the envious, be merciful towards inferiors and the ignorant, be friendly towards equals, and by being equal to everyone, considering others' happiness and distress as one's own. So if we have that attitude, slowly and steadily, we can move, like our activities, even like in a material aspect also. We also read this when Narad Muni instructed Dhruva Maharaj. So our material life gets better, and then it is becoming more spiritualized because we are following these principles. And by following those principles, then doing devotional activity becomes very natural and easy, because we are not that non-envious nature, that tolerant nature, that merciful nature empowers us to get more out of the scriptures, to get more out of the association of devotees, and ultimately get the bhakti to the Supreme Lord. So I'll pause here, and if there are any reflections, questions, comments, corrections.